Welcome everyone to another market recap. Now, everyone has different struggles in trading, but by far I am noticing a huge common theme in the main things I am struggling with. And so I wanted to talk about these things and go over them with you guys, as well as review the day's price action. And I think this video could be incredibly valuable for you. So if you like this type of content, definitely consider subscribing, leaving a like, joining my completely free Discord, and also checking out my Twitter. With that, let's talk about price action and what happened today. So, in general, like I said, there's three main things that I'm struggling with right now. One is the patience to wait for my setup. And so what do I mean by that? Well, all through here, what is happening? Nothing. You have to sit through all this. I'm going to actually go into the second one right now as well. The second one is knowing the chart's personality. You have to actually know what kind of personality the chart has. You can't take a trade when it's in any given personality. It has to be a specific kind of environment for the trade to work. If you take trades in this chop, you're not going to be taking good trades. If price is too volatile like this, you're not always going to find the best setups either. So you need to know what is going on. And a lot of the time you will see price action all of a sudden go from goofing off to having an insane 3 candle inversion all the way down to London's lows like this. You see how all of a sudden it was like a little spiky, but then it went straight to this signature and price. And so that gets me to my third thing, which is you need to know the signature and price for your trade. And so there's two main models I trade. Honestly, I might take a break from trading BPRs because I am not exactly 100% confident with those yet. And I think they're valid, but I'm not prepared to fully trade them yet. So I'm probably just going to stick to inverse value gaps and breakers because I know for a fact that there is a signature and price that comes with those two. So knowing the signature and price you are looking for. And so what do I mean by that? Well, we knew the market, since we swept out PM's highs, the market was probably going to be drawing to London's lows. You can see that here, right? And so we know where the market's drawing at this point. We swept Asia's highs, PM's highs. So the market's probably drawing to London's lows. What we need is for the market to show us its hand and say, hey, here's the signature and price you're looking for. You can enter your trade. And so all throughout here, yeah, you might have had different setups. Like this might have inversed, but this isn't the signature and price you want to see. I mean, you inverse this, and I took a trade in here actually. I want to talk about that right now. It's a good good point to talk about actually now that I'm on this. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Anyway, I took a long in here somewhere, and I think it might have been this actually. I literally took this. I took this 1 minute long, and I put my stop loss just a little bit lower than this the candle's old fair value gaps low here, and you can see I instantly got stopped out. And so you have to, okay, there's a fourth thing as well. The fourth thing is you need to understand what liquidity you are targeting, right? What liquidity are you actually targeting? You need exit liquidity to be able to take profit. What do I mean by that? Well, you need people either panic selling at old lows or getting greedy and buying back at old highs. That's how you are able to exit your position, right? So if you aren't accounting for that, the market's not going to go where you want it to go. So right here, what am I targeting? I'm targeting, we swept out these highs 3 times. This doesn't make sense. We swept out highs once and then twice. Why am I targeting these sweeps? Like, yeah, maybe this high, but I honestly, like, I was not doing good this morning. I had a headache. I was not in a good mindset to trade, and that's another thing as well. You need to make sure you're in the right mindset to trade. I was not in the right mindset to trade, and that was a big issue. And so, um, and then if you just understood this, that the market was drawing probably to London's lows, like these session highs and lows, you could have waited for the setup, and you might be wondering, well, why didn't you take this one, right? Well, this one, the candle body closed too low. We closed way too low, and we wicked out this low. We wicked out all of this. See how when this candle closes, we already essentially had hit our break even. So how are you supposed to move your stop loss to break even? You need somewhere to move your stop loss to break even. Yes, you can move it here, but these are that first target. So when this closes below, you don't have anywhere to move your stop loss to break even. Here, when it closes, not only did you get that 3 candle signature and price you're looking for, but you also have this low and these equal lows to target. And that's another reason this was so good, is that you had equal lows here. You had equal lows right here. So equal lows and London's lows. And so you get that 3 candle signature and price, and you get a quick and easy stop loss to break even. Man, every single time that's going to be a great trade. So, like there were these kinds of trades you could have taken, but this isn't the signature and price you're looking for. And as well, it also has to do with personality. Like it kind of, even in between, like minute by minute, it can change personality. Like here, it had really good personality. Here it was actually like really clean. I mean, this is not the same, right? This is not the same as this. And neither is this, right? So you have to take all that into account. Then, as well, we had a couple other great examples of this, right? Where there's a certain signature and price and a personality that comes with a good trade. You get a 3 candle inversion. My issue is I lack the patience to wait for this, because, and as well, you have to be ready for when it happens. So that's the 5th thing, like being ready for when this happens. That's one reason that, like, inverse for value gaps specifically have been so hard for me, is because I lost a train of thought, but you have to be ready for when this happens. And so if you're not completely ready, this happens within 3 minutes. You have to actually be able to enter. And so a lot of time you might need to have a fair value gap prepared for, like, okay, this is the one I'm expecting to inverse if we can get a candle close above this. Because otherwise you're not going to be ready. For me, that was the case for sure. Like I wasn't even thinking that we were going to possibly get a candle close here. And I definitely wasn't looking at the 3 minute, right? And then I noticed this one. But this one was just a break even, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we swept Asia's highs, and we got that inverse. So I took that, but that one was a break even, and there's nothing wrong with the break even. What I did is I entered here, but once again, this isn't even the right signature and price either. Like, yes, this inversed, but was it the same as something like this? Like, does this look the same as this? It doesn't. There's a certain signature and price that comes with profitability. This is the one of the other trades that Dodgy took today. So Dodgy took this one setup for life, and so today was a really good trade day to trade. I just have these issues, these main 4 issues. I fail at these 4 things consistently day after day, and it's hard. It's really, really hard. It's doable, but you have to be able to have the patience. You have to be able to know the signature and price, and know whether, if the chart conditions are good for your trade to be even a good trade in the first place. Like, over here, I think there was like price action looks okay. there's plenty of examples of this, but like if the if the chart if the chart's looking something like this, you're not going to find a high quality inverse for value gap. You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand that there is a certain personality that comes with good inverse for value gaps. Here you can see a good inverse for value gap. This was on the 2-minute from yesterday. But understanding that there really is a personality that comes with this. This guy is different than all of these guys. This guy is actually clean price action, right? And so, anyway, back to today's price action. And the same thing is true with a breaker block. With a breaker block, it is a different signature in price. With the inverse value gap, it's a high sweep, close back below. Sweep, close back below. When you get that close below, it's just obvious. It's an obvious signature in price, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you can't allow yourself to take maybe not as good setups because you don't have the patience. Like this is not as good because you don't have that same signature in price. Like, yes, sometimes you'll get good trades like this, but it will have lower highs like this, and we will be right about to go run them. Here we have higher highs, and we have equal lows and London's lows below. So it's really hard to have the patience to wait for your setup, but you have to be able to do it. So I do still like BPRs a lot though, and I noted that we actually had a really nice BPR here, and I was thinking I might do a BPR trade if we got to this BPR, and we got to it, but I'm going to take a break from BPR trades because I really want to turn profitable here soon, and I think maybe I could do BPR trades on demo, but for now, I'm just going to try and focus on inverse for value gaps and breaker blocks because there is a signature in price that comes with it. And so with that, that's a good segue into the breaker block thing. The same thing is true with the breaker block. There's a signature in price that comes with a good breaker block. I have a tweet about it actually. Hang on. It's this signature in price. I say this signature in price is so powerful where you have a high, a low, a higher high, it pops. It's like a pop boom, pop shift. It's only when you get this. It's only when you get this pop and then structure shift. That's when you know it's going to be a good breaker block. Same thing here. It's only when you get this little pop and then shift, that's when you're going to get the good breaker block. And so you enter on that retrace to that breaker, overlap with this for value gap. That's when you get the good breaker. It's that pop and then shift. So all these trades with breakers that I'm trying to take that don't really have that same style to it, they're not going to work the exact way that I want them to. And so, anyway, here you have that BPR here. And we retrace in that BPR, we get a reaction, and we go straight to what? Off that BPR, we go straight to PM's highs from yesterday. So these session highs and lows are clear liquidity pools. They're giant liquidity pools. And so you racked off that BPR. And I was literally thinking I'll probably take a trade today going off this BPR. I was literally thinking this trade, but I might still be able to take BPRs, but I just have to be really, really thoughtful about it. And I'm just going to be really thoughtful in these next coming couple days because I want to stop taking bad trades. That's a good segue into the other bad trade that I took from earlier this morning. But it's just so much easier to call stuff in hindsight than doing it in live time. But that's because there is a certain element of patience that you need, and there's a certain signature in price. So let's see. Where was I? I was going to talk about this trade. So this was this breaker block overlapping with this fair value gap. And, sometimes stuff like this works. Like there was something from the other day. Yeah, this was it. Where you had that breaker block overlap with the fair value gap. But what's different with this compared to this? Let's go look at that actually real quick. So when I go look back at the chart, where was this trade? Oh, it was right before this inversed. So I took this on the 5-minute. What was it, a 3-minute? No, it was on the 5-minute. Let's get rid of all of our lines here, and let's get rid of our session highs and lows. So first of all, we have New York PM's highs above. So that is something that I missed. I guess we had London's lows below too. So I guess it could have been drawing to either one of them. But I had this breaker block highlighted right here. And then I had this fair value gap right here highlighted. And so what's different about this compared to this trade from yesterday? Not yesterday. I don't know what day it was. Here, you have that signature in price. We have a high, low, higher high, pops above an old high, and keep in mind, we already had even swept a high. We were also delivering from a 3-minute BPR. So high, low, higher high, pop, after we already popped above this high. But see this pop and then shift? That's what you want. That is what you want with a good breaker, right? That pop and then shift. So we pushed back into that breaker for value gap, and then it was instant TP. Whereas this, it's not the same. It's not a automatic. It's actually, we get a candle close above. We get a candle close above. This is a 5-minute candle close above. Like, yes, we have a giant momentum candle, which was good. But look, we even have a giant 5-minute candle close above. This is not a sweep and then pop. This is a, like, it somewhat has it, but not really, right? And so, anyway, if I instead had been patient, I would have got this setup, which is a good segue into that trade, this next trade from Dodgy. So Dodgy talks about this setup, and this was a good setup. Why? Because this is that same signature and price you're looking for. And this is what I mean when I say I lack the patience. Like, I'm over here, like, trying to force a breaker block trade when all I had to do was just sit on the chart and wait. All I had to do was wait for this inverse value gap. That's all I had to do was wait. And then once I got this was actually on the 3-minute. You see how this gets, we get a, all of a sudden we're kind of goofing around, and all of a sudden we get all serious, and within 5 candles, we've moved down, swept out all these lows, and then pushed back up. That's the signature and price you're looking for. So Dodgy talks about this here. But yeah, you see the difference between the chart's personality here, and then here, when it gets all serious, there's a difference. It's messing around, it's just having fun, and then it's time to focus. Sweeping out all these lows and then closing back up. So you have to have the patience for that. That requires so much patience, and it's something that I personally struggle with a lot. It's essentially my biggest issue with trading. But here, you can see that you would have targeted New York PM's highs, and you probably would have had partials up in here as well. Now, I'm kind of curious. See, like he said, some people would hold this, some people would go to break even. You definitely could have gotten stopped out at break even here. So this one was a personal preference one. This one could have been a break even, just depending on your rules. But with conviction towards New York PM's highs, this would have been a good trade, and this would have been good RR too, because your stop loss goes here, right? So this, you honestly, you would have got good RR on this, which kind of makes it worth it, right? This would be the 3-1. So that signature and price, you get that pop move down and pop up. Okay, that's when you take it, and you want to keep in mind your risk to reward. So your risk to reward on this trade is pretty good, and you do have that signature and price. So this is one you possibly be willing to hold. And so stop loss goes at the low of the old candle that of the old for value gap. Okay. Then, yeah, we actually pushed back down into that BPR like a million times as well, which was a nice confluence for that trade. And let's see what else. Oh, I want to talk about Dodgy's one setup for life. So this is the same signature and price. This is what I mean when I say the signature and price is so important. So you had a data wick. This was on the 32nd. And it requires so much patience. It really does. But we have, let's see, when was this? 8:40. Yeah, here you go. So you see price just kind of like goofing off. Like you could try trading in here, but there's no specific signature in this price action yet. And as well, the chart's personality is like a snake. It's like just kind of just slithering around here. It's not in trade mode yet. Then all of a sudden it is. And you get this boom boom within 5 candles. Boom boom. And you had a clear draw on liquidity. So when everything lines up, when the chart's personality gets clear, when you get the signature and price, so within these 5 candles, the chart's personality cleans up, the signature and price is there, the draw on liquidity is there. When all of that line up and you have the patience to wait, that's when you're going to turn profitable. When everything lines up, that's when you're going to turn profitable. And that's really hard to do. Most people can't do it. Genuinely, that's why trading is so hard. Because people don't have the patience to sit. I try, but not only do I not have the patience, but I don't have the focus. Like, I can't sit there and just be like, anticipating, okay, this fair value gap's needing to break right now. Like, which one's the next fair value gap that's going to be needing to break? Like, that's really hard to do, and as well be able to know the draw on liquidity. But you can see this was a nice 1.32 2-1 trade. So good job from Dodgy. And like I said, same thing. That signature and price is here where you have, boom, pop above an old high and then push lower. And then as well, you'll actually note here that this could have even been possibly a breaker block trade. I'm curious now. Not exactly, because we don't have a fair value gap, but still a good inverse fair value gap trade. And here you can see it becomes a lot more obvious on the 1 minute. I don't know why Dodgy has it showing up on the 32nd, but the signature and price is so obvious on the 1 minute. It's so obvious. Boom, boom. Where we pop above an old high and close back below. This 30-second inversion, you enter here targeting the data low. So yeah, it's so important to understand those things. There's more trades though, actually. I'm gonna pull up more of Dodgy's trades. So if we go through here, I want to actually use his charts as examples real quick. So let me find some good examples. Like here, right? The chart's just kind of just messing around. Here's probably okay, right? Because you inverse this, closed below within 8. It's about 8 or less candles. See that one worked out. But here you see the chart's not really showing its personality quite yet. And then boom, there it is. The sweep and the close below. And you have to have that light bulb click in your head. That's when you're going to turn profitable, is when you can have that light bulb turn on and be able to execute in a split second on an inverse value gap or a breaker block. So yeah, yeah, we'll see. I might just take a break from BPRs for now, um, but I do like BPRs a lot, and so I'm still gonna experiment for sure on demo. And then here's another trade. So I want to review it from Sotep because Sotep took this one. And so Sotep talks about how after we swept London's lows, we get this close above. And this one was good because we already took out London's lows, which was that main draw on liquidity. And you see how it's a perfect reaction off of London's lows, right? So we push down, perfect reaction off of London's lows. We close above, and you see how it has a good momentum candle. It's not an indecision candle. That's what you want to see with your stop loss goes. I guess here, this would be a little too low, so stop loss goes a little bit higher. Normally, you have your stop loss at the bottom of the old for value gap, and then you target. See how there's low resistance highs here? That's what you want to see. So this was a nice 1.3 to 1. And then Camel, very similar thing here towards those equal lows. We got this yesterday's high swept, order flow bearish, close below the old fair value gap. And you kind of get a death candle through it, and then boom, right to those equal lows. So anyway, if you can't tell, I've been kind of frustrated lately with my trading. I feel like I'm getting better, but also I just do the stupidest things sometimes, and I know what I'm looking for, but I lack the patience to wait for it, and I lack essentially staying on the charts the whole time. Like today, I got off the charts early, and I didn't stay trading on demo, and honestly, I probably would have caught that trade at the end of the day. Towards London's lows, because I usually always have the session highs and lows on, so I would have saw London's lows, and I mean, I at least hope that I would have, but anyway, I'm still getting better, and that's all we can do every single day is keep working at it, and yeah, good job to everyone who caught profitable trades today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.